Hello everyone, it's Jamal Thomas. Welcome to the Progressive Soapbox. So Bernie Sanders is seeking re-election in the Senate. Now he's doing this in a weird, interesting way. So he's running as an independent, and yet he's also running in the Democratic Party. This is so strange, but I think I understand why he's doing it. This is 7 Days Vermont. Bernie Sanders seeks re-election to U.S. Senate. Senator Bernie Sanders has formally announced that he is running for re-election this fall. In a press release announcing his decision Monday, the two-term U.S. Senator said he would seek another 6 years in Congress to continue fighting wealth inequality in the country. "I'll struggle to create government which represents all of us and not just the 1%. Government based on principles of economic, social, racial, and environmental justice must continue," Sanders said, "and that is why I'm running for re-election." The candidate said he would formally launch his campaign in June with rallies across Vermont. Now, the wild part about this is, let's see, where is it? Sanders is running as a Democrat in this race. But once he gets the nomination, he is not going to accept it as a Democrat. It's so bizarre. But he's doing this, I think, to tamp down on competition. So right here, according to the campaign spokesman Ariana Jones, Sanders plans to seek the Democratic nomination in Vermont, August's primary. If he wins, she said, he would respectfully decline the nomination and run as an independent in the general election. Sanders would, however, accept the endorsement of the Vermont Democratic Party. That is what he has done in the past, and that is what he looks to forward to doing in 2018, Jones said, referring to the Sanders 2006 and 2012 runs. And understand why he's doing that. This is somewhat of a weird way, and I never heard anyone doing this, but I guess it makes sense. If you caucus with the Democratic Party, which Sanders does, and you're running as an independent, you don't necessarily want to run up against competition in the Democratic Party because, let's be honest, you don't necessarily want competition in a race. You want to be able to win that race with as little fight as possible. So he's running as a Democrat. Now, while he's running as a Democrat, he's still an independent. And he's going to say, thank you very much for the nomination, but I decline this nomination and I run as an independent. That way, he's trying to essentially edge out any Democratic contender in the main race. So instead of it being Sanders, a Republican, and a Democrat, Sanders, and ideally a Republican. I hope that makes sense. At least that's the goal. That's what he's trying to do. I'd imagine that any Democrat can still run in the general if they wanted to. But Sanders declining or receiving and declining the nomination is his way of doing that. I just thought this was an odd way of running in a race. You have all those people saying he's not a Democrat, he's not a Democrat. And yeah, good, he's not a Democrat. That's a good thing. That's a good thing. I've never heard anyone run in a race in this way, but he works in coordination with the Democratic Party. Apparently the Democratic Party is supporting him in Vermont. So that's what they're doing, essentially, to edge out the competition in Vermont. I'll leave it here. I just thought this was a weird and interesting story in the way that Sanders was running this particular campaign. I know some people want him to run purely as an independent. I don't think he's wrong in the way that he's going about this, because why on earth would you want to spend a ton of money running against another Democrat and Republican when they may be able to sap the votes from you, meaning they may be in competition for the same number of votes, allowing the Republican to win. So Democrats don't necessarily challenge him, and Sanders works in coordination with Democrats in Congress. This is an odd way of doing it, though. It's so odd. But I'll leave it here. I'm shocked they even allow this. But nevertheless, Sanders, he's running as an independent in the general election for Vermont. The independent senator from Vermont. All right, guys. If you enjoy the content, please feel free to share, like, subscribe, and of course, you can always support through Patreon. Thanks, guys.